But anyways, I'm so happy you guys are here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know it's crazy and life can be crazy on Sundays, especially for everybody, but I really appreciate you being here. And I'm super proud that you've made the commitment to yourself and made a decision to just do things a bit differently this holiday season. So I'm really proud of you for that, because it's sometimes something that we just get sucked into doing the same things over and over and over again. And we feel like there's no other option, but there is. So today is all about taking the time to get really intentional about how we want these next few weeks to be, and how we want to feel, and how we want to show up, and even what we want to let go of in this holiday season. So it's about small changes that are going to help us create more time for ourselves to spend on things like sleeping and rest, and maybe even a massage. And it's also about setting you up for success with all of the things that you want to accomplish before the new year rolls in. So make sure you're staying to the end, because I have a giveaway that I'm doing for a Starbucks gift certificate, and you still have to be here to win that. So hang around with me. But that being said, I just want to be super respectful of your time today. And I have a lot that I want to cover. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. Okay. So, are you ready to finally stop stressing? Are you ready to stop running around like a chicken with its head cut off and instead stay calm, cool, and collected throughout the inevitable holiday chaos? If yes, the good news is that you're in the right place. And it is possible to get through the next couple of weeks without bags under your eyes and with all of your hair still intact. And I'm here to show you how to start. So, your external circumstances, we all know they're not changing, but what we can control instead is how we prepare and how we react. So as moms at this time of year, it can be super stressful. There's a million things to do, people to see, gifts to buy, things to decorate, cookies to bake, and let's not even get started about school plays, concerts, and all of the events that we're expected to help plan and then also attend. It's exhausting. We're run off our feet and we don't have a chance to rest. We do our best to get everything perfect, but no matter what, we forget something or someone is disappointed, and we mostly are doing it alone without help, support, or community. And it really goes much deeper. It's deeper than just feeling busy. It's if we don't take the opportunity to look at what we're doing and re-examine it to see if there's a better way, we could really, truly end up hating the holidays. And I know this because it happened to me. It affected my relationships with all of the parents and in-laws because of the fighting over dates and scheduling drama. It impacted my kids' experience of the holidays because they had a stressed out mama whose attention was always elsewhere. And I was simultaneously doing everything in my power to make the season perfect and lugging around a Christmas tree-sized pile of guilt because I knew that I was doing it at the expense of my actual joy of the season. And it feels sometimes like this is just how it has to be, because that's all we've known. But what's really at stake here is the memories, is the enjoyment, is the ability for you to actually be present with your family at a time of year that's actually all about family. So if we keep taking on, oops, I've gone backwards. Yes, sorry guys, stick with me, my first go round here. If we keep taking on all the bullshit by ourselves with no real plan on how we can manage the workload, then we're at risk for burnout, for meltdowns, yeah, just like your toddler does, and a whirlwind month that you don't even remember. We're at risk of psycho mom coming out and letting our frustrations out on our kids, and we're at risk of our inner voice loudly informing us that we aren't good enough, that we didn't do enough, and that we should have done more. And once that voice gets going, we're fucked because we're so used to believing it. And that leads to guilt, which leads to self-doubt and a rabbit hole of comparison, self-judging, and ultimately feeling more alone and overwhelmed than we were when we started the seasonal chaos. But not today, not under my watch. I'm going to show you my 3 main tools that you can totally steal and use for yourself that help me navigate all of the demands of the holiday season without losing it. If you even try out one of these things that I'm showing you today, you're going to go into the season with so much more confidence, stronger boundaries, and a feeling of control so that you can actually participate joyfully in the memories that you're focused on creating. And if you stay to the end, I'll share with you a bonus tool which totally changed the game for me. So I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. I want to share with you why I even know all this stuff and why you should listen to me, because let's be real, there's a lot of garbage out there and a lot of people who have, claim to have the miracle pill, and it's really just total BS. I'm a mom like you. I've got 2 kids. They're 3 and 5 this year. And I parent full-time, part-time alongside my ex. And when I was married, though, I still parented full-time. I did it all. And I struggled with balancing a full-time job and 2 babies. And I was also just trying to manage getting through the days with postpartum anxiety and depression. And because I'm a glutton for punishment, I decided to start my own business just as the pandemic was starting and my son was diagnosed with autism. It was a shit show. I literally couldn't do it anymore. And the breaking point was on May 14th of 2020. And I know that because it's my best friend's birthday. The daycares were closed. My son's behavior was out of control because we didn't know he was autistic. And therefore, we were unknowingly dealing with him in all the wrong ways. And I was at the height of my postpartum mental health crisis. I had completely lost my sense of purpose and identity. And then I heard the news that the government was announcing yet another shutdown, which delayed the opening of daycares, which delayed the opening of my retail store. And I just collapsed right there on the kitchen floor, alone with 2 babies crying. And I knew something had to change. I just felt really trapped and stressed and irritable, and not to mention lacking complete control in anything, really. And I did a lot of soul searching after that and personal growth work during this time. And I really came up with a simplified, sort of mom-friendly version of goal setting and time management that allowed me to reconnect with myself and pursue my dreams outside of motherhood. So it was an obsession, really. It was podcasts and books, YouTube, online courses, personal development conferences, training, coaching, you name it. I consumed it, and it consumed me. And I came out the other side of all this growth and learning with a new perspective. That's what drives me now. I see so many mamas who are in some version of what I went through, and I see them struggling. I see them trying to do it all alone, and I see them wanting more for themselves, but not knowing how or where to even start. So I decided to share my journey, my learnings, and my growth in hopes that I would inspire another mama to make positive changes in her life that would bring her out of a dark hole faster than I was able to climb out myself. And then it kind of snowballed. And now I've built a community of mamas who are interested in leveling up their lives, who are curious about how to pursue something for themselves, and who want to find themselves again. So now I focus on teaching other burnt out moms who have lost themselves in the process of parenting through the pandemic how to claim their lives back. I created content. I have a podcast. I created social media pages, a blog, an online course, a free video series, and I started coaching other moms who are ready to make a change for themselves. And the best part of it is just seeing the progress that my clients and my community is making in their own lives, of hearing how you guys are letting go of your guilt or creating extra time in your day, and how you took up a long forgotten hobby, or how you actually just started to ask for help. I've been featured as a guest on a lot of podcasts, on online video series, and I've done collaborations with other moms in the personal growth space who are determined to share our knowledge and help you change your lives in whatever ways that you want to. So that brings me to the focus of today's workshop. Now that you've got a bit of background on me, you're here because you want to get through the next few weeks with as much joy and as little stress as possible. You want to have a positive holiday experience this year. And I've got you covered with 3 tools that I swear by that help me thrive through the holidays. So let's dive right in. If you have questions as I'm going through this, please just write them down and I'll do a Q&A at the end. And just once again, as a reminder, I'm muting all of your mics so that we can ensure really clear quality sound. So if you don't already have a pen and paper, go and grab one grab a coffee, tea, glass of wine. It's never too early for that. The first tool that I'm sharing with you today is the weekly planning strategy. So it's just really easy at this time of year for us to get overwhelmed with all of the things we have to do. I find that that's one of the biggest problems that I'm seeing. So it's super important that we have a system to manage it all. And, firstly, so that we don't forget anything. And secondly, and maybe more importantly, so that we have an actual idea of everything that we have on our plates and we can take a conscious look at it and decide whether it's something that's worthy of going on our calendar or not. And of course, when we have a handle on our to-dos and commitments and what they actually look like, we have the opportunity to schedule in rest times and self-care that's going to support us in accomplishing all of the supermom things that we're planning for ourselves. Because we all know you can't pour from an empty cup. I like to use a physical calendar, because I love the connection between writing and, thought, mind, body, all that connection, and the connection that you get by physically writing it out on paper. But an electronic calendar, like a Google Calendar, something like that, works too, in your phone or however you use it. You make the decision on what tool works best for you based on your lifestyle and your preferences. I'm just an old school calendar kind of gal, and I carry it everywhere I go. What is really important when you're looking at your calendar system is making sure that you have a monthly view that you can see sort of like all the little squares for 30 days or whatever. 30 is typical month, right? 28, 31, whatever it is. And then you also want to have a view where you can see the weekly view. So like you see on the screen, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you want to have that in addition to the whole month at a glance. And the only other thing that you're going to need to make this tool work is 10 minutes, just 10 minutes a day. And no matter how busy you are, we can all find 10 minutes. Lock yourself in the bathroom if you have to. This is important work, okay? The purpose of the month view is for you to be able to see all of your commitments for the month in one place. So at a glance. The purpose of having everything written down on your calendar is twofold. One, so you don't forget anything. And two, so that you know it's safely on your calendar and you can just take it away, remove it from the precious brain space that it's taking up, because it's taking up mental space and energy if you're trying to remember to do it. Whereas if you write it down, you know it's safely down in your calendar and you don't have to think about it anymore. So things that you're going to put on your monthly view calendar are things like the holiday concert, the Santa Claus parade, the family dinners that you have to attend, your work parties, all of that type of stuff goes on the monthly calendar view. And then the next step is sort of once a week. I like to do it on Sunday nights, but you can do whenever makes sense to you. You're going to set aside those 10 minutes that I was talking about, and you're going to fill in the weekly view. So that's why it makes sense for most people to do it on a Sunday, because you can look at the upcoming week in full. It's just how our society's set up. It's how our brains work. Look at from Sunday to Saturday kind of thing, or Monday to Sunday, but whatever makes sense for you to do. So you start by checking out your monthly calendar, and you're going to see what's already scheduled that week, and you're going to add those to the appropriate day on your weekly spread. Okay, so you're just transferring from one calendar to the other as your starting point. And next, you're going to add in any must-dos. So that can be like appointments or commitments that you've made, like baking cookies for a kid's bake sale. You're going to be able now to realistically see how much time you have that week after your must-dos and your commitments. And some weeks are going to be busier than others, of course, and that's okay. It's actually really excellent to have that information so that you know where you can work in the little things that still need to get done. And so step 3, after you've done your monthly calendar and then you've transferred a few things over and added in commitments specific for that week, is you're going to take 3 things from your to-do list. Just 3. These can be things like wrapping presents, writing and mailing your Christmas cards, grocery shopping for Christmas dinner or Boxing Day brunch, and all the food items you need. It can be shopping for stocking stuffers or whatever unique individual to-dos for the holiday that you need to do. You're going to take a look at those on the Sunday, and you're going to slot those in throughout the week. So you're going to schedule the most important 3 things and choose a specific day that you're going to do that thing. And if you can, especially if you've got one of those calendars that has like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., whatever line specific, put it for a specific time of day. But if you don't, I personally don't. I like to just have a very open weekly view with no lines, so I can just know what I'm doing in a day. It's a lot less stressful for me because my days often go sideways. Whatever works for you. If you think you can swing it, if it's a week where you don't have too many commitments and you want to do a fourth item from your to-do list, that works too. Just make sure that you're leaving yourself space for rest, for family time, for fun, and then for any unexpected curveballs, because you know they're coming. They're always coming. And I just want to remind you too that your calendar is a living, breathing schedule, and you should really expect to make adjustments as you go. So one thing to keep in mind is just be flexible with your commitments and your to-dos within the week. I personally just like to front load the week. So I put most of my 3 to-dos on a Monday or Tuesday. And that's for a couple of reasons. It's so that if I don't get to them on the Monday or the Tuesday, then I still have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday to move them along in my week, and I still get them done within my week. And the other reason that I like to do that is that if I do get them done on the Monday or the Tuesday, then I can sort of coast and relax for the rest of the week without guilt, because I know that I did the 3 most important things on my to-do list. So it's just preference on how you want to do that. Okay. And then one thing that I want to leave with you with the weekly planning tool is that your to-dos, they don't be have-tos. So I'm going to say that again. Your to-dos don't need to be have-tos. And that means 2 things. Number 1, you can cut anything out from your to-do list that you don't want to do. I'm giving you full permission. Just draw a boundary and say no to your office party or the nutcracker with your mother-in-law or going to the mall to see Santa. Because if it's not hell yes, if it doesn't make you want to say, hell yes, I want to do that thing, then it has to be a hell no, especially at this time of year. And the number 2 reason why your to-dos don't have to be have-tos is that they can also be want-to-dos. So it's really important for you to schedule in time for things that are going to bring you joy. Go ahead and put reading time in your calendar. Time to phone that girlfriend and get caught up. Time for a Christmas movie marathon with the kids. Time to snuggle with your sweetie or get a massage or anything that is important to you that you don't necessarily think of as a priority, but that fills your cup up. Those can be your to-dos also. And you want to put those things in so that you can see them in your calendar. My challenge to you is to make sure that your schedule each week has at least one joyous self-care to do on your list from now until the new year. This weekly planning strategy gives us a framework to really understand what we're working with in terms of both your available time and your commitments. Because if we aren't clear on how much time we have available to do all the things that we want to do, we're going to run into the problem of over scheduling, which of course leads to chaos, rushing, burnout, and inevitably forgetting something or screwing something up, which is our worst nightmare. Anyone's worst nightmare at this time of year, but really always. So don't put yourself in a position where you aren't in control of how you're managing your time leading up to the holidays. When you're prepared and you're aware, you're not only able to get everything done that you want, but you're also reducing stress because you have a plan and flexibility built in to navigate all those curveballs. And if you can really master the system, you're building in pockets of time just for you throughout, which are truly the moments that are going to save your sanity. So I want you to rate yourself just on a piece of paper, in your head, on your notes, in your phone, whatever. Rate yourself from 1 to 10 on how you currently feel about your planning, scheduling strategy going into the holidays. And just want you to recognize whether you think you've got a really good system or whether you think there's some room for improvement. Okay, and my next tool for you today is the nighttime routine. This has been absolutely transformational for me, and I find it especially helpful in busy seasons like the one that we're entering into, but I use it all year round. In the beginning of my personal growth journey, hold on a sec. I see a chat here. Oh, yes, Rach, thank you. 5, lots of room for improvement. Yeah, I even feel like I've got room for improvement with my weekly schedule too, even though I have this practice. It is a practice. You know, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep learning. Cool. I'm going to keep this chat up so I don't miss anybody else. Thanks for that. Okay. Yes. So at the beginning of my personal growth journey, I kept hearing that I really needed to have a morning routine. A morning routine was the answer to how to set yourself up for success. And everyone successful had a morning routine. And so I thought, well, shit, now I'm really fucked because my kids wake up really early. And how do I get an hour of uninterrupted time in each morning to focus on me? It felt really impossible. And so I got discouraged, but I kept hearing about this concept and I really wanted to make it work for me. And so I just flipped the idea of the morning routine on its head and I made a wicked nighttime routine instead. And it works really well for me in this season of early bird toddlers because that's the season I'm in. And I know it's going to work for you too. Here's how it goes. After the kids go to bed, or if you've got a partner in parenting who can be the primary for like a little bit to give you some time to yourself, you're going to just take 15 minutes to get your space prepped for the next day. So you're going to load the dishwasher, tidy up the toys, make the lunches, whatever those things are for you that are going to set you up for success for the next day. You're going to do those in advance. Take 15 minutes. And after that's done, and they're not nagging at you anymore from the back of your mind, then you get to take 30 to 60 minutes of personal time. So maybe that's reading, yoga, watching TV, taking a walk, having a bath, or a nighttime tea, a golden milk latte, reconnecting with your partner, calling a girlfriend, like whatever that is that you want. It's 30 to 60 minutes of personal time each and every night. And then after that, after you've got your time, you're going to take 15 minutes, just have a shower, wash your face, brush your teeth, get in your jams, do all the things that are going to mean that you are ready for bed. Okay. Take 15 minutes to do like your bathroom routine, your hygiene, whatever. Okay. Whatever stuff you need to do. Take out your contacts, whatever. And then it's time to crawl into bed. And this is where you do the work. Okay. And this is the work that's going to keep you calm, centered, and balanced throughout all this holiday crazy. So you can incorporate things in this time that are like gratitude, journaling, meditation, visualization, and affirmations, setting your intentions for the next day, all those kinds of things. It's really just a good time to do it right before you sleep because your brain is sort of, as you're transitioning into sleep, your brain is going to theta brainwave mode. And so your subconscious is more accessible. And so as you're thinking of these things and going through them in your mind, your subconscious sort of sucks them in a little bit more. And it's going to amplify the results that you see because you're directly accessing your subconscious, which isn't possible throughout most of the day. We use our conscious mind most of the day. And so you're feeding it these positive intentions and it really gets to work on that. And so we all know this. If our day starts off in chaos, it's probably going to go to shit the rest of the day. At least that happens for me. And we also all know that if you don't take time for yourself, that nobody's going to give you the time. You have to take it, right? You have to carve out the time to be proactive because as soon as your day starts, you're in reactive mode, dealing with everyone else's needs and wants. Taking the time at the end of the day to set yourself up for success as soon as your feet hit the floor in the morning is such a gift that you can give yourself. By following my nighttime routine or something similar that works for you, you're allowing yourself some time to do something that you want to do each and every night. And you're also working in time to do the things that are ultimately going to set you up for success in all of the roles that you have to play in this coming season. So it's imperative that you have a routine like this that you're going to use to ground yourself and center yourself with what's important to you so that A, that stuff gets done, and B, your cup gets filled up and you can show up as the best version of yourself for your loved ones. So I'm curious to know, and you can just sort of mull it over or write it in the chat if you want, if you have any sort of morning or nighttime routine currently set up for yourself. I know everybody has some sort of routine, even if it's just walking downstairs and turning on the coffee machine, but I'm always curious to see what's working for people because I'm in this journey of growth that is never ending. And so I'm right here alongside learning and growing and then sharing what I'm learning. So, oh, this one's a good one, guys. So the final strategy, it's a quick one. Eat your frog. I talk about this a lot, so you may have heard this already, but the story goes that if the first thing that you do in the morning is to eat a live frog, that nothing worse can happen for the rest of the day, which if you think about that, that's pretty true. Like that's disgusting, right? The way that I'm teaching this, your frog should be the most important thing on your to-do list, the most difficult thing, and the thing that you're most likely to procrastinate on. Okay. So I know we all have those hated chores and tasks, especially around this time of the year, whether it be holiday baking or making a paper mache mask for the holiday play. My advice is to do that thing first. Eat your frog first. And by doing the hard thing first, that's going to create energy and momentum for the rest of the day. There's nothing quite like the sense of accomplishment you get from knocking something big off of your to-do list, right? It's like a weight that you've been carrying has suddenly been taken off your shoulders, and then you can just breathe again. That's what we want, some breathing room. But what happens if you avoid that frog, right? Let's say it just looks too disgusting to deal with. So it's just going to sit there staring at you all day while you do 100 other things on your to-do list that aren't really important, but you're like, yeah, okay, I'm getting through these easy peasy things, not a problem. Meanwhile, the frog is taking up space in your mind and on your desk or wherever you're working. And you still have to eat it, but now you've built it up so that it's even bigger and even more disgusting. And guess what? You want to deal with it even less. And so you push it off and you push it off and it doesn't get done, or it gets done half-assed last minute, resulting in panic and guilt. So do the most important thing first. Don't give yourself a chance to put it off. You're really going to be truly amazed at how quickly you start to build momentum and how much more you're going to enjoy the holiday season if you aren't consumed by uncompleted, daunting tasks. Who knows? With all the time that you save by not procrastinating, you might just have some time to join the kids for a skate on the local pond, or sled down a hill, or go on a Christmas lights walk around the neighborhood. So I'm curious, how does this strategy compare to what you currently do? Are you one of those people who likes to tackle the important thing first, like eating your frog first? Is this something that naturally you've always done that comes to you? Or are you someone like I used to be, where you're going to whittle away at the easy, low-hanging fruit first and then wonder what you actually accomplished all day looking back? Oh, no, guys, hold on a second. We are not in the right space. Okay, we're back. I'm new to this webinar situation. 50-50, Rach. Yeah, I know. But try it. Try to eat your frog and see what happens. Okay, back on track. This is my bonus for you guys. Time confetti. So we all have a lot more free time than we think we do. And this is an idea or a finding has come to light from Ashley Willens, who's a Harvard researcher and a psychologist. And so what she says, though, is the free time that we have actually comes to us in small pockets throughout the day rather than like in big chunks. Yeah, Megan, me too. Sometimes sorry, I'm like toggling back and forth as your comments come in, but I just want to make sure that we're having like an interactive because this is so great. It depends on your mood, on how you want to set up your day, right? Like if you wake up full of energy, you're ready to tackle those big things a little bit easier. And I think that that's how these things all fit in, is that if you have your good night routine, you're starting your day with more focus and more energy and less chaos. And so you can set yourself up to be able to do the hard things first. Whereas if you start your day in reactive chaos mode, everything seems like a frog and you're like, oh God, this is too much. I'm just going to skip it or whatever, right? At least that's what happens to me. Okay, back to time confetti. Ashley Willen. So she says that you basically don't notice your free time because it's in these small pockets that she and other researchers have coined time confetti, which is fun. I really like that term. It makes me, feel happy, gives me a positive vibe, confetti. What she's basically says is that the situation of having all of this free time in small doses, it taxes us cognitively and fragments our leisure time in a way that makes it hard to use this time for something that will relieve stress or make us happy. So I think we can all relate to that. The idea of just feeling like we need more time to do things just for us that fill our cup or bring us joy, or maybe we just simply need a minute to sort of reset, So I heard this and I was really intrigued, and I thought, well, what if we use this information of knowing that we do actually have a lot of free time, that it's just in small pockets? And what if we used it to our advantage, basically? And so what I did is I created a list on my phone. I have an iPhone, so there's an app that comes, it's called Notes. I'm sure Samsungs or whatever have the same idea. There's a note app. And so I just created the list and I called it my time confetti list. And I basically wrote down anything that I could do in 5 minutes or less that either makes me happy or calms me down. And whenever I notice that I've got 5 minutes to spare, I just check out my list. It's usually when I'm sitting in traffic or doing school pickups or waiting in line on the phone, doctor's office, something like that. I just take out the list and then I choose something that I can do in that moment to fill my spare time. And at this time of year, it's more things like writing a Christmas card or mailing it, or putting on a song that makes me sing out loud, or taking 3 deep belly breaths to recenter and reset, or just taking a minute to sort of imagine the picture perfect Christmas morning that I'm looking forward to having in my household, whether that happens or not, but just having a minute to imagine it and recenter. So it does take a bit of practice to sort of notice that these pockets of time are there. But once you get in the habit of noticing it, it's really amazing how you can feel refreshed, or just take 5 minutes here and there to fill up your cup and rebalance yourself. And I find that especially in a busy season, it can really make all the difference. Okay. Now, hopefully I don't skip to the end again. Yes. Okay. So I just want to take a few minutes to show you a couple testimonials of people that I've worked with and who were able to achieve some great results that I know are possible for you too. Because sometimes when you get information, you can get all jazzed and you're like, yes, that's cool. But like how, when you get off the call and you're like, oh yeah, that was a cool thing I learned. But unless you start to take action on it, you're not going to see the results. And so I wanted to show you some results that you can get if you can just commit even just to one of these tactics: weekly planning, night routine, eating your frog, or noticing the time confetti. Choose one and just see if you can make some changes in your life. So Trista, for example, she was able to carve out an hour a day to do something for herself. She runs a business, she's got small kids, and following some of these things, she was able to carve out an hour every single day, which is huge. Christine can now balance home, kids, and self-care in a way that she wasn't able to before. And she uses the weekly planning strategies to really get organized for her week ahead, which is super cool. And there's Cass, beautiful Cass. You're on the call today. Hey, girl. So Cass was able to get organized and get out of a rut with her business using some of these strategies. And Jessica was, she's a mom who has one kid whose husband is away a lot working, and she also runs a business. And so she was able to use some of these techniques to get things done without exhausting herself or pushing her to the point of being sick like she used to do. She used to just go, go, go and not take in the time for self-care. So these are just moms, daughters, sisters, and business owners like you who came to me feeling like they didn't have enough time or motivation to achieve their goals, and they didn't know where to start. And so I'm sharing these with you today because I want to show you that other people have been where you are and have broken through to personal success in a variety of areas in their life, whether it be parenting, business, or self-care. And I know that you can do it too. So it's my goal to empower you to maintain your calm during the craziest time of the year so that you can actually enjoy it with your loved ones, so that you can make memories instead of worrying if you remember the stamps on the holiday cards, so that you can spend a relaxed evening with the family instead of shuttling people from the Nutcracker to the Christmas parade. When we bring all of these tools together, we're able to approach what's typically a season of stress and anxiety and rush, of overwhelm, and instead move into it with calmness, boundaries, and joy. We can create a plan for ourselves that feels in alignment with the energy that we have, as well as the commitments that we have. We want to make sure that we're not overextending our goals here. You want to really notice how much energy you have and notice the commitments you have, and then make changes within that are realistic for you. We want to marry the to-dos and the want-tos in a way that allows us to feel accomplished and ready while also feeling relaxed and rejuvenated. And that is what I want for you. And I see, Rach, here, you're going to be taking on the scheduling. Yes, I want to know how that goes, because I find, like, seriously, 10 minutes a week, and you can see it at a glance, and you got the flexibility. I know your schedule is crazy and you've got things moving around all the time. So this is something that's going to work really good for you. And one thing too that I do, especially if I'm looking at a calendar electronically, but I use a different colored pen when I'm writing for the self-care things. And so if I look at my calendar and there's not a green pen, if there's nothing that I've scheduled in for me, then I make sure to add that in. It's just really good, like, easy visual. Okay. I really want you guys to start your days feeling ahead of the game, because you took the time the night before to get organized and refocused. I want you to be able to spring into the week with enthusiasm, knowing exactly what needs to get done and where you have some time to play, because you use the weekly planning strategy like Rachel's going to do. And imagine how amazing it's going to feel when you're able to get the big things done early in the day and take time throughout the day to refocus on joy and calm by now knowing about time confetti and how to eat your frog. These tools are all significant sort of in and of themselves, but when you marry them together, it's game changing. So you stuck with me this whole time, and I'm just so grateful. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I have a little giveaway to do at the end, but first I have an invitation for you. So now that you've seen the entire process and had a chance to sort of evaluate yourself, I'm guessing that there might be some gaps or areas that you need to master in order to make this work for you. And maybe you're even starting to wonder, okay, what other areas of your life could you change if you were able to take this a step further and expand your growth to other seasons of your life as well, and not just the holiday season? So here's what you can do to jumpstart your momentum and start seeing results quickly. Head on over to the website, and I'm going to link in the chat right now. Oh, I'm already there. Hold on. Whoops, CA/sales. So it's livingwithheart.ca/sales. If you head over to that website, you can get signed up for the January Grow Like a Mother group coaching program cohort. Starts January 9th, and it's designed for high achieving women who want to reconnect to the version of themselves that doesn't go by the name mom, and for them to build the life that they deeply desire. My invitation to you is through this 8-week program that you get back to being you and chasing your dreams faster than you ever thought was possible. If you're ready to reconnect with your interests and what makes you happy outside of being a mom, to prioritize your health and well-being so that you can fully show up as the woman and mother that you deeply desire to be, and to feel empowered and in full ownership of who you are so that you can serve to the best of your abilities, this is where you need to be. In this program, you'll get clarity on what you want your life to look and feel like and how to fit that into your current reality. You're going to get a roadmap to plan for and ultimately achieve the goals and dreams that you have for yourself. Support and guidance and community, of course, as you navigate reconnecting with your true self. You'll get an online digital library of self-paced trainings and teachings and proven methods that you can start to use immediately to just get off the struggle bus. And you're going to get bonus teaching from guest experts, including an evening yoga and meditation practice, a masterclass on boundaries, and a masterclass on self-image. You get an introductory one-on-one coaching session with me, which is private, to start to uncover the roadblocks and dive deeper to the online teachings, and even doing some interactive workshops that are really going to light you on fire. We've got ongoing community support and journal prompts, guided meditations, all the things. This program has all the things. So imagine waking up feeling rested, full of energy, and ready to show up fully and be able to once again perform at the level that you expect of yourself. Your day starts with habits and routines that fuel you and bring you closer to your dreams. You feel balanced in all the roles that you play, and you have the confidence to handle it all with grace. You're living in alignment with your goals and values, and you have a specific plan to tackle those big dreams that are on your heart. I created this program because I know there are so many motivated, ambitious, amazing women out there who are living as a fragment of what they once were because they feel sucked in and overshadowed by the beautiful enormity that is motherhood. The beautiful part about how I designed this program is that it takes you through your own personal journey. And We start with mindset, and we really dive into the stories that you believe and how you feel and what you think about yourself and your opportunities and your situation. And then from there, we dive into goal setting and figure out what it is that you specifically want to work towards. And lastly, we build on the habits necessary to be able to make a successful transformation in your life, because knowledge alone is not power. The power truly is taking the action consistently to make the changes in your life. It's my intention to help guide you to identify the things that are going to light you up and fill up your cup. I want you to find ways that you can carve time out to dedicate the things that you love or that you're working towards. And I want you to stop feeling overwhelmed and start living with more intention and peace in all of your roles and relationships. You can work towards setting an example for your family, your community, as a woman who can have it all. And you can live life on your own terms in alignment with your purpose and your family dynamics. You're going to be surrounded by people who are achieving the things that you want to believe are possible. So it accelerates your beliefs and your results a lot faster if you're doing it in a group environment. And so here's the thing. If you join tonight, you get early bird pricing of $444 instead of the normal price of $777. That price is just until Monday evening. So everyone who gets the replay is going to also get that offer. But if you join tonight, by the end of the night, you're going to get an additional extra one-to-one coaching session, which is valued at $97 that you can use anytime. And I know that for many of you, this season leading up to Christmas is going to be a time where you're especially needing a little bit more guidance. So having the opportunity to use one of those calls or both of those calls prior to the group actually launching is perfect. Also, if you sign up early, you're going to be able to get access to all the course materials December 16th. So you're going to be able to work through some of those self-paced things before the live sessions start on January 9th. And it's once a week in the evening. We just take some time and do online coaching, again, via Zoom, very much like this, but you won't be muted and you hopefully will be showing me your beautiful faces. So I know it's not easy, and I just want you to know that it's not necessary to do it alone. So you're here because you're looking for community, and to know that you aren't alone in the struggle, and to discover new ways that you can bring balance back to your life. You want tips and tricks and tactics to help you get through the messiness of motherhood without losing yourself. And you want a solution. And this is it. I'm asking you to make a decision for yourself. It's time to step up and stop the madness. I mean, what do you have to lose? At this point, you've got two choices. You can either keep doing things the way that you've been doing them, or you can shortcut your success. If you're ready for that, then the group coaching program is my invitation to you. Because you've attended today's workshop, you're automatically pre-approved, and I know that you're someone who belongs in this community. I can't wait to help you reach your goals and realign with yourself starting in 2023. This is our year. Okay, so